two, and one. Hello, hello, everyone. Come on in. Let's greet our next presenter, Rebecca Irwin. So let's give everybody a chance to come into the room. Okay, let's come on in. Just a moment for everybody to come in and get settled. Get settled. Okay, you might want to turn down, I think, your second device because I heard the echo and that will drive you nuts a little later.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
off now.
Okay, there you go. Okay, we are going to get started. And today's presenter for our next presenter, I should say, and let me pull up all my information about our next presenter, which is Rebecca Irwin. And Rebecca hails from the great state of Georgia. She is an elementary school librarian and she has a wealth of information to share with us today. I will be placing her website in the chat in just a minute. But at this time, without further ado, I would like to welcome librarian Rebecca Irwin. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, y'all. So great to be here with everybody. It's been a wonderful day already, and I'm really excited to get started here. So, this is Growing Readers One Book at a Time, Cultivating a Culture of Literacy. I am Rebecca Irwin. I'm a media specialist at Porter Elementary in Bibb County, Georgia. I've been an educator for 16 years. I was an English and reading teacher for 8 years. And now I have been a media specialist, just starting my 8th year as a media specialist. I was the 2021 Bibb County Library Media Specialist of the Year, and then 2022 Middle Georgia Region Library Media Specialist of the Year. So I wanted to talk today about just basically how I have some things that I have done to really grow a culture of reading in our school. And we have really seen this evolve over the years. And I've seen an increase in our circulation. I've seen an increase in students and teachers talking about books, being interested in books, sharing what they're reading, and all those sorts of things that we want to see. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I have done over the years. At the end, I will be sharing a link to the presentation as well as a wakelet of resources. So hopefully you will find some things in this presentation that will be useful for you. So for me, I believe that really it starts with communicating, starting with your faculty and staff. You want to make sure that they are aware of what is going on in the media center. Some of the ways I do that are by being a part of my core leadership team at school. So I'm able to communicate with the principal, the assistant principal, the guidance counselor, and the academic coach on a regular basis. We have often daily meetings where we're just kind of debriefing about what's going on in the day, being able to talk about other things, about collaborative planning, being able to have emails for my teachers and talking with them as well. So all those are ways to really make myself available not just to the students but also to other teachers in the building. And I think that that's helped to create that kind of relationship where they know that there's things that are happening in the media center, there's exciting things that are going on, and they know that they can always come to me if they have questions or concerns about anything, and I'm going to be available for them. This is something that we do every day. We say this little Porter Reading Pledge along with our Pledge of Allegiance and our school pledge. It's something that I came up with a couple years ago and is part of our regular morning announcements. Just like exercise makes your body stronger, reading makes your brain stronger. Exercise your brain by reading at least 15 minutes every day. The students know this, the students say this, they can recite it with us when we go through it every day. And it's something that I really think has made a big impact, again, in just making sure that students, teachers, everybody understands that reading is not something that's different. It's not something that's apart from everything. It is just a part of what we do every day. It's a routine. It's something that often the morning work that teachers have going on in their classrooms is reading, getting out their latest book, whether it's a physical book or something that they're reading on Epic or Mayan or Sora, and making that available to them. And I've really seen that it's made an impact. It's made a difference for us. So wanted to share a little bit about some of our space. So I think that's the most important thing, is having a space that is welcoming, an area that we want students to be in, that students want to be a part of. So these are pictures of the walls that are right outside of the media center as you're walking in. So on one side, we have some canvases that my media specialist, or my media clerk, her mother and daughter painted these, and they're so great to have outside of the media center. And I really enjoy being able to see that every time I walk in. The students love seeing those, and it's been such a great way to just welcome students into just our reading culture that we have in the media center. And then the other picture is we are a Leader in Me school, and this represents the 7 habits, and it's right outside of the media center. And so again, it's just such a welcome and bright spot. And they know that, I think it just sets them into that mindset of walking into our welcoming and bright space as well. Then some more pictures. These are pictures that I was taken just this past week in school. You can see from our kindergartners and our 5th graders. So we see our youngest and our oldest students who are enjoying being in the media center and reading. And of course, that's what it's all about, right? It's getting them in there and making it a place where they want to be, and a space for them to enjoy and to love and to grow that relationship with reading. Another thing that I always do is make sure that we have books everywhere. There are books on top of all of our shelves. We'll have displays, which I'll be showing some pictures of those shortly. We have books lined all over the place. And sometimes our students, they're very sweet. Sometimes they will ask, can we take these books off the top of the shelves? And it's like, the answer always is, of course, please. So they love being able to see that. And it just kind of keeps those books right in their eye line, so they can just kind of walk around and just grab things off the shelves. The other picture shows some things that we're starting to do in our fiction section. We've started taking some book bins and putting together some of the most popular series. So we've got Dogman and Wimpy Kid. We also have Baby Mouse. That's been really popular lately. Owl Diaries, Goosebumps, My Weird School. It just kind of runs the gamut. And having those right at the very beginning, right when students are being able to browse, and they love being able to just grab things. And so it's just an easy way for them to find these. These were just, I mean, they're like $1 that I got from Walmart, I believe, actually. And we've started to use them. And my intention is to start filling up some of our spaces with some of these bins. We also are starting to do some genrefying. We've started with adventure and fantasy, and we're going to be moving into humor and scary stories soon. And we'll just kind of keep going with it. And so far, it's already been getting some good reception from the students. Some other things that we do, we are now a one-to-one school and district. So every student has a device, whether it's a tablet or a laptop. So one of the things that we've done is using Sora, and Sora it goes along as part of Overdrive. So you've got Libby on the public library side, and then you have Sora on the school library side. And our students are really embracing using Sora. I always try to make sure that I have, you can curate collections. And so there are things that the students will see as soon as they go into it. And I'll have a collection that will show some of the newest books that we have available, and I want to make sure that that they are being able to see what they've got, see what we have that are available. And there's a couple links that you'll be able to get shortly, but those links are to some short little tutorial videos that I did showing both students and teachers how to navigate through Sora, and that's something that I always will show them in the media center as well. The biggest thing is to promote, promote. I do that when students are coming to the media center. I just walk students through how to use Sora. Doing that over and over again helps them. It kind of gets that back into their head. If they've forgotten that we have that available, then that helps them to remember. So then they're going to go back to their classroom, get on their computer, and start using Sora again if they hadn't been for a little while. Just a word about my schedule. As an elementary media specialist, sometimes we have to do things like be part of the specials rotations. So I am this year and last year, I've had really a great schedule because I see students once every week and a half. They're rotating through the media center. So it's about like 3 days where they're coming, but then the next 7 days, I don't have students. So we have a totally open schedule. So it's wonderful because that way I see everybody on a regular basis. But then we also have plenty of flex time where students are able to come in and check out books. So when they're coming to me during their special, then I'm taking some time to show them things like Sora and some of the other things that I'll talk about. And that really helps them to, again, just remember the different things that we have available in the media center. Something else that we started doing lately is Beanstack. Beanstack is basically it's an online reading log. It's kind of like Goodreads, but it's without the social interaction part, which I think is probably good. They can friend each other, but all that means is they're able to see each other's reviews and books that they've read, but that's it. They're not able to interact any more than that. Beanstack runs promotions all the time. So they all you have to do, I mean, you really don't even have to do anything. The promotion is going to be there. Students then can go in and log reading that they've done. They can log it by the book, by the minute, other things like that. One thing that I want to start doing is some genre challenges where I'm giving students different categories, whether it's read a fantasy book, read an adventure book, read a scary book, and then they share in what the title was that they read. So just a way to help them expand their reading horizons a little bit. The other great thing about Beanstack is teachers can log their whole class. So if they're doing 20 minutes of independent reading time, then they can put that in for the whole class. So everybody who's there that day can get the credit for that. So it makes it real easy. And I've also shared tutorial videos with the teachers about Beanstack. And again, showing students when they come to the media center about Beanstack so they know what to do with it. One quick note, if you can see on there, it does show that this promotion started August 3rd because yes, that was our first day of school. So, yeah, we've been at it for about a week and a half. I feel for all of you who are there with me, and bless all of you who still have another couple weeks of summer. So enjoy it. It's coming soon. Something that I've been really proud about that we've done for several years now is doing a one book, one school / community. This is something that we started doing back in November of 2019. I started thinking about it the year before and was able to get through some various sources, being able to get the books. We partnered with a local university and they were able to help us with getting the books, and that was a great thing. Sometimes with one book, one school events, then they will send the books home with the students, and then parents will read the books at home, or students will be reading whatever the chapter is at home, and then they'll come back and have activities at the school. We kind of knew that our students, it's pretty likely that they were not going to do that. There's a lot of different factors that might impede a student being able to read at home. So we wanted to, again, we're trying to grow our reading culture at school. So what better way to do that than giving them a chance to read at school? So this was something that we did. Again, several years that we've been doing this, taking about 10 minutes out of our day to read a chapter, and everybody reading the same chapter of the book at the same time. It's just a really powerful thing of everybody having this book. We were able to get enough copies for everyone. So we had from our office staff, our principal, all of the students and the teachers, our cafeteria workers and custodians. Everybody had a copy of the book because I wanted that to be something that we all had together. And we would have a question of the day, and students would be able to respond to that question. And then they would bring in little slips of paper with their answer on it, put them in the media center, and then we would have some drawings throughout the day and pick some prizes for those who got the question right. So we started off with The World According to Humphrey in November of 2019. In 2021, January, we were all remote during this time because that was a real big time with COVID. And so we were all separated. Most of our teachers were not even in the building at the time. All of our students were virtual. So I wanted to do something that would kind of bring us all together. So I recorded myself reading some chapters of Wish Tree. We have Canvas and Teams, so I felt pretty good about it being a closed platform. So I would share out the chapters, and then the teachers would share with their students every day. And they loved being able to do this on a daily basis during this time, this month of January, to go through this book together. So it was a great way for us to connect. Even if we weren't able to connect physically, it felt like we were able to connect emotionally with reading this book together. Then last year, we were back to everybody having the book, which was wonderful. So in November of 2021, we did Cleo Edison, Oliver, Playground Millionaire. And this year, we're getting ready to do eight class pets plus one squirrel divided by one dog equals chaos. We're getting ready to start that in November. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be the best one yet. We already have all of the books, and I'm starting to get some activities together and get some things organized for that. So I'm really excited. It's something that our students ask for every year. They want to know, what is the book that we're going to be reading? Because now they're expecting it and anticipating it. And again, it's just a great way for us to all talk about books together, especially with all of us reading the same book at the same time. Some other things that I've done. This was something that I started back in 2021. You probably heard of March Madness. Well, this is April Awesomeness. So this was a reading book championship that I started doing. I just kind of came up with this. I saw some other areas that had done this for March. So I thought, why not do it during the month of April, with it being School Library Month? So what I basically did was create some brackets. We had brackets for pre-K through second grade, third through fifth grade, middle school, high school, and adult. And put out book trailers, put out reviews of books and other things, so that students and teachers and everybody could see some books. And just a great way for us to all connect and talk about books and be able to choose their favorites. And you can see here the books that ended up winning. The first year, the original Dog Man won for third through fifth grade. And this past year, it was Dog Man Mothering Heights who won again. So we'll see. I'll plan on doing this in 2023. And we'll see if he wins again. God bless Dave Pilkey. I don't know what we would do without him. So this is something, though, that's been a lot of fun. And we had people from all across the district who were participating. And so that was a really neat experience for all of us together. Another thing that I started doing this past year, and again, I started this during April School Library Month, was What Should I Read Next? There is a podcast called What Should I Read Next with Ann Bogle. And every week she has a guest where they talk about the guest's reading life. And Ann asks them some questions, and then they give their responses. And through that, then she comes up with some reading recommendations. So I decided to try this with our students. So I made a Microsoft forum and shared it through Canvas. That's our learning management system. And so all of our students would be able to see this. I opened it up to third through fifth graders and just asked them a few questions, letting them tell me a little bit about their reading, books that they enjoy, books that maybe they didn't enjoy, what types of books they like, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, give me a little bit of information about themselves, and then I come up with some reading recommendations for them. As I said, we started in April, so we had a few weeks before the end of the year that we were doing this, and I ended up getting 26 responses, 26 submissions, so I was pretty excited about that, and I'll be doing that again this year. And what I would do is, let me go back for a second. I would, once I get their recommendations, then I send it to them via email, so they're able to get something personal from me, where I give them the books that I've thought about them doing. Something I think is really important is giving students choice and voice when it comes to books. And so to me, what that means, more than anything, is giving them the opportunity to tell me what they want to see in the media center. I want them to give me some suggestions for some books for me to order, whether it's a series that maybe we don't have that they've heard of, or maybe they want more of a certain book or a certain type of book. So I put this out there in usually right around the first of the year when I'm getting ready to do my first book order. And I just go through and get their recommendations and then start making my order. And it's just a great way. They really love being able to see that and know that, hey, I suggested getting this book and here it is. So it's something that really seemed to mean a lot to them. We do displays and promotions throughout the year, so I'm just going to kind of run through some of these. Again, these will be linked in the presentation, and you'll have a Wakelet with some resources in there. I'm blessed to have a very creative media clerk who comes up with all of these, and she's awesome. So she'll sometimes see something on Pinterest and put it together, and it's great. I love it. Students will sometimes also ask, can we take this book if it's on a display? And of course, the answer is yes. There's nothing better than seeing a display that's starting to get empty. We just fill it up again. So we had some books. One of the pictures is some biographies. So some of the who was and other types of picture book and other biographies. My media clerk found some old card catalog drawers and kind of repurposed them to be some displays for these. And then we did a thankful tree in November for Thanksgiving, where students could tell us books that they were thankful for. This was a couple holiday displays that we did. This was something we did around Valentine's Day. Blind date with a book, pretty common one that you might have seen. Putting a short description, wrapping up the book in brown paper, and then making that available for students to grab. Also showing some books some love. So lonely books that hadn't been checked out in over a year. I would pull a report from Destiny, our catalog, and if students want to check out any books from that display, then they get a Hershey's Kiss in exchange for showing some books, some extra kindness. These were some more displays during Black History Month, St. Patrick's Day. This was a couple displays that we did during School Library Month. One was we love our library because, and students wrote on the hearts the things that they love about the library. One student wrote that she loved that the library was so organized. So I definitely appreciated that. I think she was probably a future librarian. And then in around May, then we did a display that was talking about sliding into summer reading and just having some summertime books, encouraging students to read all summer long. I also get some ideas, wonderful ideas from Twitter. This is Mike Rawls, the book wrangler. He had this idea of doing something different for Read Across America instead of Dr. Seuss. So embracing the idea of reading across America. So I came up with this. This was in March of 2020. So we all know what happened then. So we didn't quite get to all 50 states, but we did a pretty good amount. So I was pretty happy with what we ended up doing. The students wrote a book that they read that happened to occur in that state. And so that was something that we enjoyed. I created a Padlet for a couple years also with Read Across America, and just a way to to put that out there so that students could have some read alouds and other things um, for during the month of March. This was something that I saw from Wendy Cope, who is another Georgia librarian. But she had these bookmarks where teachers were putting in some their own information, things about their books that they like to read. So I sourced some ideas from my teachers and had them to send me their book recommendations, series that they love to read or books that they love, and a Bitmoji, and then put those together. And that was something that students really like to be able to see. This was another little display that I did, putting in some, just basically taking the first line of a book and putting it up on the construction paper and have the books in front of it so they could just kind of go through and glance. And if they saw something that looked interesting to them, then grab it and check it out.
We have less than 4 minutes, so we have two questions for you.
Okay. And I am pretty much done. So wonderful. Here's my login info or my all of my information. So fire away.
Okay, the first question is, do you have any pushback from teachers with kids going back to their classrooms and using ebooks instead of picking up a physical book from the library for reading time?
Great question. Honestly, no, simply because what I see is they do both. We'll have students who, for whatever reason, they do this, that they'll grab several books from the library, but then they'll also go and they'll read something on Sora or they'll read something on Epic. Sometimes, they'll read maybe something that's a little bit shorter on Epic or Sora, but then they'll get the physical book from the library. I think since we've been using these for a while now, teachers are pretty open to it and they understand that reading is reading, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's a graphic novel, whether it's a picture book, whatever it might be, and they embrace all of it. So I'm really fortunate in that.
And here's another question. Very curious about Beanstack. How affordable is it?
Honestly, I don't know. Our district, they're the ones that put this together, that do Beanstack for us. So I'm not really sure. I don't think it's, relatively speaking, all that expensive. Of course, if you have a district who's able to do that for you, all the better. The more schools I'm sure that are participating, then the less it comes out to for each school. So I honestly do not know.
I know the owners because we work with Beanstack in Washington D.C. They're really nice and they will work with school districts. But just like she said, Rebecca said, it's the more schools, more librarians that participate, the better, and the
Yes.
price will definitely go down. Well,
Yes.
we have about 2 minutes. Anyone else have any questions? Have any comments that you would like to make? I can read them off on the screen. In the meantime, can we just have everybody go in the chat, give Rebecca some love? This is a really nice presentation. I got a lot of ideas. Those bookmarks were dope. I love that. Yeah, yeah. That was a really great idea to just get the ideas from those classroom teachers during back to school PD. Have them,
Mhm.
complete a Padlet and then give me their Bitmoji image. Yeah, it's a
Awesome.
great
Yeah,
idea.
for sure. For sure. Yes. So thank you, everyone. This has been great. I love being able to share things, and hopefully, somebody got something out of this.
Oh, they definitely did. They
Good.
definitely did. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much for sharing your expertise and your time. And
Thank
again,
you.
go online, talk about the session, and be sure to use the hashtag. And we will have all the resources that are affiliated with all the presentations up by tomorrow. I'm pretty certain a lot of our presenters want to revamp their slide deck a little bit before they send it out. So I just want to give them some time to get that done. All right. Thank you again, Rebecca.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to head on to the next section. So I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye bye, y'all.